All right. So, session two, Blade in the Dark.
Session 1, part 2.
No, session two. It's session two. Um, I will do a short recap, I guess, just in case no one remembers. And if you do remember other things, you can toss in there, I guess.
Can I do the recap?
I mean, do you want to?
We learned how to commit crime.
Yes. Yeah, you learned how to commit crime. You guys,
Crime 101.
you guys got a job from your contact LaRose of the Blue Coats, who wanted to find out who an assassin was going to target. Edlund went and read up on like the assassin's backstory, as it were. And then Vaughn found where he was hiding out with the Red Sashes in one of their row houses. So you guys went and infiltrated their row house. You killed several of them. Edlund dosed some of them with Black Lotus.
Heroin.
That was spiked in some way. You don't know. But you found the assassin. And why does my screen look like that? Oh, that's why. Okay. You found the assassin, and then you killed him, also dosing him with the black tar heroin. But you did find out who his target was. You did find out who his target was because you took his papers, that he was stalking the person. You found out that it was Preceptor Dunville, who works for the Church of the Flame, which is actually wrong. Let me correct that. That was actually written down, and it was on the note for the previous person. It's actually called the Church of the Ecstasy. Is its actual name. So ignore everything that you heard about flame. Replace it with the word ecstasy.
Will do.
And what do they do?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same as what I told you before. I just got the name wrong.
So they're into the mortal side of things.
Yes, they believe that the spirit is corrupt because of what happens to ghosts, and what happens to everybody and how ghosts behave. So they believe the spirit is corrupt and that the flesh is pure.
Okay.
It's actually the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, but they just go Church of the Ecstasy.
Gotcha.
And then something else I noticed was Danny.
Yes.
We were talking about XP at the end, and I think we said that you should get 1 for your first trigger, and then Chris sidebarred, and then we just went to your next question. So I don't know if you actually ever took that XP.
I don't think so. Let me check and see.
Yeah, I don't see any XP that you've got marked. So yeah, you should have 1 from last time.
Okay.
And you can put that in Insight, Prowess, or Resolve, or you can put it in your playbook. Whatever you feel like.
Hmm.
And then when those bars fill up, you get an advance.
Sweet.
All right. So yeah, I think that was all the things that we missed. I got the name wrong, and Danny didn't take his XP. But I think that's it. So to start with, we're now in downtime. So let's talk about your lair. What's it like?
Cool.
What's it like?
It's in the back of a shop, right? That's what we decided.
Yeah. And last time you guys were saying it was a bakery. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that came from, but
I'm not sure either, but
I thought we were cobblers before, so the bakery thing sort of surprised me.
well, I think the bakery thing works just because this is it's in 6 Towers, and 6 Towers used to be a much bigger deal. So it makes sense that they would have, like ovens and those back, like, have you ever actually been in a big bakery? I mean, they've got like assembly lines and all kinds of shit back there. So it would actually sort of make sense that it's much smaller now, but there's a lot of extra room in the back to hide you guys.
Right. So they can just, give us that
small
space.
Artisan bakery.
Right. The needs of 6 Towers have fallen off in the last few years. And so they've got to take in rent some other way.
And we always pay rent on time.
I guess. I don't know.
Because we're flush now.
You are flush. You have a lot of money.
So what's the layer like?
Yeah. I mean, if you just think about back of a bakery, you've got quarters there, and it's hidden, so.
Oh, that's right. What did you guys buy?
So is it in the back of the bakery, or is it like under the bakery?
Up to you guys.
It could be both. It could be one of those that are like
hidden,
a level, and then like a basement area.
It's warm and yeasty.
Yeah, it is warm and yeasty.
We've actually got one of the better smelling layers in the city.
I mean, fresh baked bread, it's hard to go wrong.
Every morning I dip myself in a warm rising tub of bread dough.
Fresh baked bread or coffee. I mean, really, that's like two best food smells.
That's pretty great.
So
I don't like coffee, but I still like the way it smells.
Oh,
right.
I've got it.
I said
I've got something
smells.
ready.
Okay.
When my character gets to the drug trade, here's your bread.
Well, that was
I'm sure that's how we're smuggling the Black Lotus around now.
That was my other thought. If you are behind a bakery, your name could be the Baker Boys.
Yep.
I like it.
Or the Baker Street Boys.
But it's not on Baker Street.
But is it? Like, we don't know what the street name is.
Do they really have street names?
Yes, they actually do. But
yeah, it's a real town, city.
All right.
It's a real town, city.
So if you look at that rules reference 2, it tells you what you can do during downtime. There's 6 different things. You can, of course, do other things, but if you're trying to make any of these sort of roles, then it is definitely one of these actions. You get 2 free downtime activities. You can perform additional activities by spending coin or rep.
Okay. Sidebar.
Okay.
See if this will let me do this. It did not. Never mind.
All right. Great sidebar.
I was going to try to drop a picture in there of a Victorian bakery. I had an idea.
You can probably just link it in the chat. If you do it in the Twitch chat and in the Roll20. And the other thing about downtime is you can get an additional die to roll if you get help from a friend or a contact.
All right.
And you can also spend coin to make your results better on those rolls, which can be important. Now, all downtime rolls are pretty much controlled standard. There's like no downside. It's just, do you get as much as you wanted out of it? It's just really judging effect level for downtime. Generally. So we'll do downtime.
So, do you see that bakery?
I did.
Okay, so my idea, you notice how it's 2 floors there.
Mm-hmm.
What they ended up doing is they just extended that first floor out, leaving this entire area that's under the floor now. So they moved the machineries up, and we took that bottom area.
Okay.
And maybe put like an extra way or 2 to get into the basement.
Put up a couple false doors or something.
Good or sewer entrances.
I'm sure the bakery loves having entrances to the sewer into their shop.
It's not directly under the shop.
Right. It's not like it flows under there.
Right.
So we'll do downtime activities and then also be thinking about what your next score, what you want to do. You, of course, got a couple leads, from the last thing, the last score. And also, if you look at the crew sheet and look at the faction list, you may notice some changes which may or may not affect what you want to do. I don't know.
Let's see. The Red Sashes don't like us.
Why?
I think we picked up some heat last
The
episode.
Grey Cloaks.
Yes, you also
Did we
have.
have anything with the Grey Cloaks before?
You did.
Okay. The Blue Coats. I don't think we had anything with the Blue Coats before.
You did actually.
We did. All right. Well, I know there's no differences then.
The Red
Other
Sashes.
than the Red Sashes like us less.
Right. The Red Sashes like you less because you robbed them
But how did they know it was us?
and killed a bunch of people. Well, that is a little tricky. They weren't exactly, I think all the witnesses died.
Right.
But you also got heat and rep from it, which kind of means that the word has spread. Now, you could do a mission like totally quiet and not get any rep. That's totally a choice you can make. And then, of course, they wouldn't know. But because there was rep involved, the word has gotten out.
Okay.
And then the other thing I'd say for scores is take a look at the turf, too, on your playbook. Not the playbook, your crew. Your crew playbook. Because you can always, expand your turf, too. That could be a score as well.
We should do that.
I do eventually want to get to that drug den.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I want that drug den.
But that's all just stuff to keep in mind, while we do downtime. If you have any actions you want to do to set up a score or something, you could definitely do those during downtime. But anything else you want to do? Anybody want to go first?
Okay.
Does anybody know what they want to do?
I'd like the Hagfish Farm so we can go towards the drug den.
You just like the Hagfish Farm.
It cracks me up.
I was reading that you could actually jump straight to there.
You can.
It's
like more difficult.
There was something bad about doing that.
Yeah. It's more difficult. I don't remember why.
I just wanted to point it out as an option.
Yeah, I don't remember why it was more difficult, but yeah, there is something about that.
It's like you're taking territory that you can't directly support.
Something like
that. It's not next to your territory.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And the other thing I forgot to mention was if you look on the map, there is a new clock called Spirit Wardens.
What's about that?
And I put it over Crowsfoot because that is the region that they are investigating. There was a lot of dead bodies for some reason the other day.
There's a gang war going on.
There's also a gang war. There's also a gang war. All the bodies are not just yours. I'm just saying.
All the Lampblack's fault.
I'm just saying the Spirit Wardens are busy checking up on Crowsfoot, trying to find the source of the murders. Because murders make their job difficult.
We're just making sure they stay employed. What territory does the Church of Ecstasy operate out of?
They are out of the really nice areas, mostly. Most of the nobles pay lip service to them.
Okay.
It's not quite like Catholicism where you had to be Catholic, but everyone's pretty much considered.
So they're in Brightstone?
Yeah, they're in Brightstone. I think their main temple is actually in Brightstone. I'm actually looking at the book, trying to figure out where they are. Yep, Brightstone. The Sanctorium is their grand cathedral in Brightstone. But they have a bunch of other smaller temples just scattered all around.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
Stress.
Mm-hmm.
Does that heal, or do we have to actually heal it?
You need to indulge your vice if you want to get rid of stress, which is a downtime activity.
Then, where did we select our hunting ground? That was the Night's Market?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of my things I'm going to do is indulge my vice.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Edlin's going to go indulge his vice. What is your vice?
So my vice is a nice quiet room with cadavers and knives.
Okay. How are you
Now
going?
you decide. That I will change that. That's the basic idea that he is very much into study, and his study is disassembly.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Now, if you don't feel that is good enough, that's fine. I will just go with pure drugs.
Disassemble.
With pure drugs. No, that's fine. That totally fits within weird. And also, it's a vice, so it's mostly something that relieves stress. I mean, that's honestly what it does in the system.
Yeah.
So, as long as that works for you, it works for me. So you've got a vice purveyor.
Yes.
Of Sister Thorn. So
I think there was some confusion about that. Where did they go?
Who?
The purveyors. I know I had it. There it is.
That's right. They're not on the character sheet.
So the Deathlands are where there's a lot of dead bodies, right?
The Deathlands are outside the city. The city's got a big lightning barrier around it that keeps the ghosts out. The Deathlands are basically where all the ghosts are, except for the ones that die in the city.
Because that might be when I might have to change. Because the surveyor or the purveyor was going to be, somebody that can get me cadavers that won't eat my face.
Cadavers don't eat faces. It's the ghosts that come out of them.
Exactly. It's just bad form when you're disassembling someone and their ghost pops up.
Sure.
So I need bodies that don't have those pesky ghosts in them.
That is... Okay. My Acrobat just locked up on me, so I wasn't able to.
Mine did too, actually, a little bit ago.
Weird. So that actually works, I think, because Gaddock Station is one of the rail lines out of the city. So it makes sense that she would be able to get bodies to that location, and then you can pick them up.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Okay, fine. We'll just go with my first inclination. Sister Thorn is played by Charlize Theron.
Oh.
But from
long-haired or short-haired?
From Mad Max. I mean, come on. She is a Deathland scavenger.
Furiosa. All right.
Right. She is a Deathland scavenger. When you actually meet her, she's wearing like a gas mask. She's got a big, thick leather coat that's all bound up. There's obviously armor underneath it. I mean, she's loaded for fighting off ghosts.
And has some kind of religious thing going or not?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. Didn't know if she had a nun motif going.
With the sister thing, no, that's just sort of they're a weird Deathland scavenger cult, so they're into, sister, brother, father.
Okay.
Father. Somebody's gonna throw a container of juice against the wall. That sort of
Someone's gonna have to clean it up.
Someone's gonna have to clean it up. So, all right, you can go meet with her. Pick up your dead bodies. Do you take them back to the...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll assume you've got a cart or something to hide those when you bring them back, but that's fine.
Yes, it's got bakery all over it.
Right. You deliver bread.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the way you do that...
Thin, sickly guy
a lot of bread
like
deliveries out
with a big bakery cart.
The smell of the fresh baked bread covers the cadavers.
It helps. It definitely helps. So you've got 4 stress. So what you want to do is click that Indulge Vice button on your character sheet.
Indulge Vice.
Now what it's
going
to...
am I missing it? I see it. Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to Vice. What it's going to do is it's actually going to roll your lowest attribute, which in your case is Resolve, which is 0. But because you went to Sister Thorn, you get an additional die. So you'll have 1 die.
So 1 bonus die?
Yeah, just make that a bonus die. All right. You rolled a 6.
Did he really?
Yep. So you clear amount of stress equal to the highest die result, but you overindulged.
Perfect.
Because you rolled higher than your actual stress was. So if you go to that rules reference 2 again, it's got the list of overindulged things on there at the very bottom. Okay. You attract trouble. You brag about your exploits. You get lost, or you get tapped.
I don't know what tapped means.
It means that your
current purveyor cuts you off, and you need to find a new source for your vice.
Do I pick or do you pick?
You pick.
Okay, where's that list at?
It's on the rules reference 2.
Bottom right hand corner of rule reference.
It's like the last thing on that page.
Oh, rules reference 2. Sorry.
This is all rules reference 2 stuff, I think.
Yeah, pretty much downtime is.
I did not pull that up. Okay. Rules reference 2.
Bottom right.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid lost because that makes no sense.
It works.
It kind of makes sense. You're going against the wasteland.
Yes, but then I have to make a new character.
Well, there is that.
I can kind of see tapped.
Yeah, but I don't really want to do that yet. Apparently that will be a future one.
Mm-hmm.
Select or roll an additional entanglement. Let's do that. I love random.
Okay, so you're going to attract trouble?
Yes.
Well, all right. Let me
And we're at 4 heat, so it's going to be the middle table. Awesome.
Yep. So I will just
Let's go for that middle one there. Reprisals and Unquiet Dead.
Let's avoid that one. Why would
That's the fun one.
Why would the dead have anything against me?
I can't imagine why.
Right. So I rolled a 2. Which was as gang, trouble, or questioning. All right. So
are they going to beat up the scholar?
If you land a gang or other cohort with a flaw, there's no entanglement.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. So it looks like you may have just gotten away with it.
It's lucked out.
Because you don't.
I just happened to take the cart right past the red banner people.
Red sashes.
They didn't even realize it. Not really. I had like a red sash person in my cart.
Oops. There's swords hanging out.
It's a fresh one.
There's a sash hanging out.
Okay. Well, normally overindulging is a lot more fun, but you
have thwarted him.
You kind of rolled the null result. So
yay me.
Yeah, you. All right, so that is indulging your vice. That's how that works. Does anyone have another downtime action?
Did you want me to do my other one or wait till everyone does one?
You can do your other one if you know what it is. If somebody else knows, I'll go to somebody else.
I need to my vice as well because my stress is
all right.
High.
So your vice.
My vice is very specific.
Is water.
It's luxury,
clocks.
Really.
So you have a collection of water clocks? Is that what's happening?
I do.
Or are you starting a collection of water clocks?
I am starting a collection of water clocks. I mean, I've got a couple. But
okay.
Not enough to really call it a collection yet.
Okay.
They're expensive.
And Maestro Hellerin is your contact, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. So what are you going to be doing? exactly.
Where is he?
He's
the theater owner, right?
Yeah, he's the theater owner. I think it's in Brightstone, but I could be wrong about that. No, he's in White Crown.
Might be in White Crown.
Yeah, he's at the Spire Garden Theater, which is like the super fancy theater where they have operas and people dress up, and it's more important to be seen there.
Fancy.
Than anything else. So.
Well, I will doff my fanciest hat and coat.
Okay.
And head on over to White Crown.
All right. That's a little difficult just because you're tier 0, and so even your best clothes are not that great.
No, and I'll sneak through if I have to.
Yeah, you get a lot of looks from people as you go to the theater. And then you have to go, of course, to the back.
Right.
Because they wouldn't allow you in the front. Although, during the day, there's not any shows, so it's not like it's open or anything.
Right.
But there are, of course, people there setting up and, stage hands and all that sort of stuff. So there are some people in the back, and you have been around before, so
yeah,
they know that you are here for the maestro.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, I
should have brought my dog.
How about Christopher Lloyd? He seems like a good maestro.
Okay. Could roll that.
You could bring your dog. That would be a little difficult.
No, I was just joking.
But I did have a question about that because, you do have one.
I do.
You have a fine hunting pet, right?
Yes.
Have you defined that yet?
No, I just now decided it was a dog.
Okay.
So probably a hunting hound. I have to decide what kind.
And you'll have to name it.
I have to name it too, yeah.
You can't just call a dog. I mean,
No, I have to come up with a name. I was thinking about doing a hawk, but dog went out.
Okay. So yeah, Maester Hellering greets you.
Okay.
It's like, my boy.
Maestro. How are things at the theater?
They're great. We're putting on a performance of, I don't know, The Rise and Fall of the Emperor.
The Ghost of the Pauper.
No, that's more of a Christmas show.
Oh.
Excellent. Perhaps I can catch a glimpse before I head out.
No, that would be awful. You shouldn't look. We're still in rehearsals. Nothing is ready. It's awful. I tell you.
No, of course.
This soprano section I've got this year. Oh my God. They are the worst.
They just never give you enough talent,
huh? People just don't come to the city like they used to.
Well, the ghost barriers.
Well, there's trains and things, but yeah, it just hasn't been good for the theater these past few years. So I found a new piece for you. I found it back in the props department from a show we did probably 10, 15 years ago.
Excellent. I was hoping you'd say something like that.
You must let me see your collection eventually, one day. I'm sure it will be quite an exhibit.
Oh, of course.
Because he thinks you're an art student. I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not going to tell him. Oh, yes.
That you get your weird, sick fantasies off these water clock.
Oh, totally. Oh, I have to rub up on myself. I like the way the fine instrumentation feels.
Feel that Corinthian leather.
That's right.
Well, wouldn't that rot after a while? Oh, no.
Oh, this fine cut glass.
Right. So, yeah, I guess you can roll to indulge your vice.
All right.
See how that works for you?
My lowest stat is a 1. My favorite purveyor, so I get 2 dice.
Right? Well, you just hit Indulge Vice, and then you'll get a bonus die for the contact.
Okay.
It automatically picks your lowest.
Indulge Vice.
Five was more than you had, wasn't it?
Yes, by 1.
Everybody's overindulging.
We're flush with cash. I mean, I've got corpses I got to get, I don't know, elbow deep in.
These corpses aren't going to dissect themselves, although.
Ooh.
It would seem weird to get tapped on the first go.
That was my thought.
Be like, oh yeah, I've been supplying you this first time, but I'm out now.
Fuck you, I'm out.
Right, exactly. Loss doesn't make any sense.
See, I thought that word tapped was just cutting you off for the night.
No, it's forever.
No, it's burning that contact.
Finding your source. Yeah. I could attract trouble or brag.
What's your guys' heat at?
4?
Meh. Let's do heat ain't terrible. Especially because no one has actually reduced heat yet.
No, not yet.
So
hopefully someone does.
And it's the same as Indulge Vice. It's just whatever the highest die is reduces. So I mean, having 6 heat wouldn't be awful if someone plans on doing it. Now, if someone doesn't plan on reducing heat, it could be a problem. But
all right. Well,
I'm planning on doing it.
Okay.
I was going to brag anyway, so
okay.
That seems up my character's alley.
So, what does that look like? Because he's not necessarily privy to your extracurricular activities.
Let's do heat. That means I'm talking about something illegal.
Talking about the shit that just went down?
Are you talking about something nefarious?
I'm just going to talk about how we really pulled one over on this, stupid gang down in Crowsfoot.
So you were the person that was shocked that we got some restriction from them, got any kind of pushback. But then your first action is to make sure everyone knows it was us.
Not everyone. I just told the maestro. He's not a talker.
Apparently he is. He increases our heat by 2.
It happens. It happens.
So it's Christopher Lloyd, right? So he just gets.
I loudly, like with hand gestures, and so like passerbys could probably hear me.
Yeah, he just gets giant saucer eyes, while you're talking. He's just like, what? My boy, I didn't know you were.
Oh,
involved in such.
It helps bring in the money. Our students are poor.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of art patrons that wouldn't like to hear that. I'm gonna go tell them right now.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't say that, but that's essentially what happens. Is
Right.
He goes and talks to some of his,
contemporaries.
Yeah, contemporaries and other art people, and he just happens to mention there's this water clock person, and there's this. He's involved in some stuff, and
Whoops.
That amount of scandal will probably make you famous in that circle.
Yeah, probably.
There are certain circles where that will work, but and they're high society, so they're not necessarily gonna come down on you because of course the poor are always doing that.
Right.
Ugh.
And there's a little bit of the voyeurism going on too, so.
Right.
So apparently in this game, what's best then is if you're like 3 or 4 stress, to cut on yourself for a while to get up to at least 6.
If you end with a score with less than 3, I mean, you just kind of let it ride.
No, I thought 4 was a decent amount.
4 is like right around the cusp,
Yeah.
It's risky, but yeah.
Okay, so 5. 5 is the number now.
Now it's the number.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me clear my stress off. So yeah, I get out of there before
So officially,
anyone
we
can
both
see
rolled
me.
6.
Yeah. Okay.
I rolled a 5, but
Oh,
yeah.
you're right. Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
He just he just still overindulged. All right, Timothy, you got a downtime action?
Yeah, I think I'm going to reduce heat.
All right.
Yay.
What is our heat at?
Your heat is
4.
now at 6.
I'm 6. It's at 6 now.
Okay.
Because
Apparently
somebody
been talking at bars.
right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because somebody had to.
Don't know what you're doing.
I'm clicking in the wrong thing. So yeah, for reducing heat, you just basically just need to. How are you going to reduce it?
I'm going to be spreading a bunch of rumors
Okay.
that the whole thing at the Red Sash was actually part of a plot that was going on over in Whitehall,
Mm.
and that somebody from Whitehall is responsible for the hit.
Okay. So you just go into like bars and.
Charter Hall or White Crown?
White Crown, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know what you meant.
You knew what I
I
meant.
figured that's what he meant, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. So I guess that would probably be consort. That sound right?
I was thinking sway, but
sway would also work. I was thinking consort just because it would, require going around to a bunch of different people, as opposed to sway, which tends to be just one person. But
well, I know the people to talk to get this spread.
Okay. Yeah. All right then. Make it a sway roll.
A sway roll. Do.
There's something I want to do, but I don't know what it would fall under.
Well, we can figure that out because we're smart and capable.
That's right.
Smarter than the average bear.
Would this be controlled?
It's just going to be standard controlled for downtime actions. Any downtime actions you do, pretty much. Rare exceptions, it will change, but.
If I do this at the leaky bucket, would that give me a bonus dice?
Is he your contact?
That is my contact.
Martin? He could help. He could help sell the story a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. That is a lot of low dice.
Ooh. Well, the good news is I didn't go over.
You can go over in this. It's not.
Wow, that is a lot of low dice. Oof.
All right. So you reduce heat according to your result level, which is 1. You reduce 1 heat.
Wow.
Now, here's the deal. You can spend coin.
You know what? That still gets us under the 6.
It does get you under the 6. But you can also just spend coin to just up that result level in downtime. So if you spend a coin, you would actually reduce 2. If you spent 2 coin, you would reduce 3. And if you spent 4 coin, you could reduce it by 5.
Let's see. What are we sitting at as far as coins goes?
And you can spend
group,
you can spend
actual
personal
crew
coin or the
that's 4
cruise
coin in the stash. And then we should each also have 4 coin.
I am going to spend one of the crew coins to reduce that by 1 more.
Okay.
So 2.
So that'll reduce it by 2. Is somebody marking that on
6.
the crew sheet?
I will in
I'm
a second.
on it.
I mean, I can do it. I have it open, but I just didn't know.
All right.
All right. So basically, Timothy had to go cover up for Vaughn's blabbermouth.
Yeah, basically.
Really. The other option, Danny, is you could spend a coin to do another downtime action and like do it again and just hope to get a better result, which
that's not a bad.
would tend to end up with a, reducing it a little bit more, but either way you want to do it.
Yeah, let's spend a coin to roll again.
Okay.
I'm going to put the heat back on then.
Okay.
I'll hope you roll better.
Well, no. I mean, the first roll still counts. It still reduces the heat.
Oh, okay.
It's just he's going to do it again.
Okay.
So he's going to reduce more heat.
I don't know if you meant he'd rather do that instead.
It's actually really just, doing it twice. That's much better.
Yeah.
That's much better. That is not a crit, but that does give you, I think, is it 3?
A crit's what, 2 6s?
Yeah.
Okay.
That gets you, it gets you 3. I'll reduce it by 3.
We're down to 1 heat now.
Awesome. All right, Timothy, while you're doing that, you are in various bars and other places where ne'er-do-wells hang out so that you can, be sure to get the word out to the right people. Because you want those gangs talking about it so that they will inform the blue coats. So they will. It's complicated. But while you're in there, you actually meet LaRose when you're leaving one of the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees you. And he does this whole sort of, I don't know this person thing, where he kind of ignores you, but also makes pointed motions at you to, hey, over here, quiet, where we can talk.
I'll mosey over there.
Okay.
Circle around the room and wind up over there.
Yeah. So, there's a bit of a issue that has cropped up. One of my higher-ups got word that I was out looking for this assassin's target, and now I'm being investigated by Internal Affairs.
But you were just upholding the law, trying to prevent a death.
I mean, that's what I told him. But you know how it is. Everybody's corrupt. So I think...
How can we help?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to talk to his higher up. Maybe take him out to dinner, ply him with some drinks. Maybe get some prostitutes or something. I don't know. Show him a good time. And try to convince him that, yeah.
A friend of mine might have some mood-enhancing abilities. Should you require those? Mood
enhancers? Heroin.
Los drogas.
He's a little bit higher in the blue coats and has a little bit more reputation to uphold. So I don't think he'd necessarily go for your street drugs.
Well, the guy that's investigating you, should he get turned into a crack fiend and come out, I think that would pretty much just knock the legs right out from under his investigation.
I mean, it definitely would. My only concern would be, how many eyes that points my way. But yeah, anyway, I'm just going to try to convince his higher up that this doesn't need to be investigated. That's silly. He should maybe look elsewhere.
Okay.
So any help you could give me in that regard would be much appreciated.
What sort of help do you require?
So
what did you have in mind?
So essentially, Danny, rules-wise, it's going to be you need to pay 2 coin or 2 rep to basically get this guy off you. Now, if you guys want to make that the score to go deal with this guy, that's totally cool too. We can do that. But, the fastest way is just throw some money his way and have LaRose take care of it.
What do my compatriots think?
So what I would actually like to do this time is take those informants. So I'd like to do an informant action or whatever it is to take that territory. So I kind of say we just pay him off. It's not like he didn't get us an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, I agree. We should just, we're flush right now. Let's spend a little bit of the coin and just make this problem go away.
We will bankroll his evening.
Yeah, basically, LaRose is going to bribe him, essentially. So, but he's going to do it in a cool police way, so it's not like, hey, here's a bribe.
If you want to, I'll go ahead and use one of my coin.
You should still have crew coin available if you want to spend that too. Mm-hmm. Either way. Up to you guys.
I didn't want to completely destroy the funds in the crew.
All right, just for record keeping purposes, you're spending one coin, Chris?
I'll spend one.
I'll spend one of my coin too.
Okay. So that'll cover that. Yeah, and you also reduce the heat as well. So good job there, Timothy.
Timothy.
I know it cost us a bit there. So
I did have a question for you, Timothy. You were telling me in the last game about your Dagger Isles charm. I'm assuming you're using it.
Oh yeah.
What is?
Normally it just works with the ladies, but
What is the Dagger Isle charm?
It's just a fast Creole type accent and
a twinkle in your eyes.
Exactly.
All right. All right. Who's got another dime time action?
I have one more. I'm actually just going to train.
Oh, you're just doing training?
I'm going to do for my crew advancement so I can get the one other ability I wanted. I was looking at the wrong sheet. Let me find the proper one again.
I was going to say, do you actually have enough to get the ability that you want?
No.
Okay, you're just working towards it.
Yeah, so I just mark up playbook advancement.
So you're doing a playbook advancement. All right, so you guys don't have any bonuses there. But what exactly are you doing?
I've got all these nice bodies.
Uh-huh.
Since mine is based on alchemy and physique, I am taking things apart.
Okay. Making notes. Making those cool anatomical drawings from
exactly
the 1800s. All right.
I feel the gang really should not hang out in my little sub basement.
I have learned not to walk in.
But the smell of baked bread hides it, and I just keep forgetting.
It only takes once.
Would anyone like this pancreas?
Curse my fallible memory.
Nope, I've got one. Thanks.
When you said sweetbreads, I was envisioning something completely different.
Damn it, Danny, I was about to make a sweetbreads joke.
I don't want a person sweetbreads.
I had a cup to my lips. You beat me to it. All right, so that's Edlin's 2 downtime actions. Vaughn, do you have another one?
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is go talk to Preceptor Dunville.
Okay. And what were you looking to get out of that?
So I was just going to be like, hey, so we saved your life from, this assassin who is plotting to kill you. We should explore a relationship.
Okay. So that could be a couple different things. It could either be acquire asset or a long-term project, just depending on what exactly you want out of it. Acquiring asset would be acquire the temporary use of an asset, which would be him. He would help you do something once that way. Or you could turn him into a contact for the gang, which obviously would last much longer and be forever. But that would be a long-term project.
That's more what I was looking for.
The long-term project. Okay. That is cool. So the way to do that is to, on your character sheet, there is, right above your notes, there's a place called Clocks.
Yes.
Click Add.
Okay.
and make a clock for Preceptor Dunville as a contact.
Okay.
Let's make that an 8.
8. Okay.
So you want to get a critical.
I'm working on it. I don't even know what I'm rolling.
So, yeah, you just need to sort of like decide how you're going to approach it. You might want to talk to Edlin first because he's got more background details on him.
Okay.
But
I was gonna chat with the other people anyway because this is going to involve everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
And just say, hey, guys, we have some. I don't know if leverage is the right word, but we have some goodwill from the preceptor.
We have sway with him
that I think we should take advantage of and try to establish something long term.
I totally agree.
I agree.
Although he's higher up in the church, so I'm not sure what we can do with it, but it's good to have.
If we can, work this into a long term, like make him a contact of ours, ideally. Edlin, you read up on the details of the situation? Like, what do you know about him?
I wrote down the preceptor. Did I get anything specific, or just that apparently Lord Pendrin wanted him dead?
That's all you got from like the paperwork that you got from LaRose, because that was all about Holborn. I mean, that wasn't
Holtz.
Colburn. Yes, yeah. Got that confused there. Yeah, so that was all about that. But you're the one that took the paperwork that Holborn was actually gathering, and of course that was him. Yes. That was him spying on Dunville, essentially. So,
so I have some extra stuff there.
Yeah. So I don't know what's contained in there. That would also be a long-term project to read all those notes and figure it out.
We can find out, where how religious, how Catholic is this organization?
They're not Catholic.
I'm more talking about celibacy.
No.
They sound pretty not.
No, they're really into the flesh, and guess what is part of the flesh?
I apologize.
So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to read those papers and figure out more before Bond goes, that would be a long-term project, which you can take additional downtime actions to do. It just costs you coin to do them, or you could just do it, in concurrent with him, or you could just
coin does it?
Or you could just
one coin.
Throw them in the trash and ignore it. I don't know. Yeah, it's one coin to do the action.
If you want me to, I'll go ahead and do a long-term action to get information.
Yeah, just to read the documents.
Yeah.
Okay. So same place on your character sheet, right above the notes, there's a little button called clocks, and you can call this one
the Colburn files.
I was about to say the Colburn files, or the Colburn papers.
Okay.
And it's an 8 as well.
Got it.
And then if you want to make progress on that, tell me what you're doing to actually
study.
Sounds like study to me. Yeah.
I tinker with the papers. I cut them up and close it. Wow.
You're gonna do like a cut up technique sort of thing on them, rearrange them.
Yep, exactly.
All right, yeah. So study.
Okay. So input value controlled.
Yeah, it's controlled standard.
Standard. Any bonus dice since I have the papers?
No, the papers themselves do not count. On downtime actions, you can get help from a friend or a contact for additional dice.
Okay, I got a 3 and a 4.
So a 4 is going to be 2 ticks on the clock. You could bump that up to 3 by spending an additional coin, or you could actually spend the coin and take an additional downtime action and do it again.
That I'm actually getting kind of low on my coin now, since I don't have to pay where I live. But
right, okay.
Unless the gang wants to pay for my coffee while I read these papers.
We already give you bread. What do you want?
All the bread you can eat.
Actually, that should probably be part of our rent. Coffee and bread. Our monthly rent gets us a table in the back.
Some coffee and some bread.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Edlund, the actual, the papers themselves, it's mostly him following Dunville and marking his routine and that sort of thing because, he was going to assassinate him. So it makes sense to do that. It's really just sort of figuring out what his notations are, because he's got lines at, 7:32 P, 7:45 3 L. What the hell does that mean? So it's more about, figuring out what he means with his notes than necessarily that they're difficult to understand. It's just whatever his shorthand is. You just got to figure out what it is. So you've got 2 ticks on that clock. So yeah, that's about where you're at, is figuring out his shorthand.
Okay.
And then Shane was going to go talk to Dunville, but let's actually do that after the break.
All right.
Because we're going to take a break.
Break.
A break?
We want to do that. So we'll be back